I have so much that I want to share with all of you, so let's get into it. I've been on a little bit of a YouTube hiatus just because there's been so much going on, but I am back and I'm so excited to be pushing out the long form content again. The first huge life update that you may have heard about from my YouTube shorts is that we are in the process of moving. It honestly feels so crazy to think about the fact that we're selling our house, but in about 2 weeks, honestly probably 2 weeks to the date that this video is posted, we're closing on our home and we are selling it and we are moving in with my parents. We are renting from my parents and we don't really know how long this season is going to end up being, if it's going to be a year or two. Definitely not more than 2. We're like capping it at 2 years, but it's just going to give us the opportunity to live in an area that we want to live in, have some support from family, kind of get our finances together, but more so helping us save for a down payment on like our forever home is kind of like what we want to call it. We first bought this house when we were dinks, so that means dual income, no kids, and it worked perfectly great like when it was just my husband and I. Really the goal was that this house was going to be our starter home. We really compromised a lot on buying this house, a little bit with like the actual house itself, but more so on the location, both in terms of like where it's located in relation to like where we work and like the things we like to do, but also just like in the location of like the area that we live in and how comfortable we feel here. We honestly just thought that we'd only live here about like 5 years or so, and then we would move, start a family, be in a different home, or like maybe have just a baby towards the end of living here. But we ended up getting pregnant like 5 months after we bought this home. I ended up being a stay-at-home mom and now I work part-time, and as much as we like are able to survive and we live very comfortably in this house, we cannot go towards our future financial goals while still living here. And one of the biggest goals is buying like our forever home. We want to buy a home that's like the house that we live in until like we either pass away or retire or decide to move somewhere else. We want that to be the home that we pay off and that our kids are settled in, and that's where like they grow up and they come home every single day. I'm excited about it, and I know that our kiddos are going to be so spoiled living with my parents because our son is already spoiled. I'm sure our daughter's going to be spoiled when she's born. When we move in with my parents, my husband and I are setting like a fun little challenge for ourselves, and it's to save $100,000, which sounds crazy, and I don't even know if we can save like half that. Our goal is we want to be able to put at least 20% down on our next home, but then also to have like enough to cover closing costs, or if there needs to be renovations and repairs, or even to be able to buy like some new pieces of furniture. But the goal with that is to put aside money from like our income every month. And obviously the first couple months are going to be kind of hard because I will have a maternity leave that's completely unpaid. So we will see how the first couple months go, but once I start going back into work, we're gonna save like a set amount from our income every month, and then the goal is any extra money that we make selling things, doing side hustles, or the biggest one hopefully ends up being my social media, is going to go into our savings account. It is a high yield savings account too, so we feel like that's also going to help. Just curious to see how far we get. I think that this is something I'm going to document because I feel like I see so many of my friends love documenting things like getting out of debt or like paying off their house. I feel like a savings series of like saving 100K in 2 years would be a lot of fun just to document and even see how far along we get. It's going to be a huge challenge, and we're definitely going to like cut back a lot to try to make things work, but I think it's going to be really, really fun. Something else that's happening soon in about 3-ish weeks is my son is going to be starting a Mother's Day Out program. So my son has only ever been at home since he was born. He just turned 2 in June. Obviously, I was with him for the first 3 months on maternity leave. Then my husband was a stay-at-home dad till my son was about like 7 months old. Then I became a stay-at-home mom. And even though I am a full-time stay-at-home mom, I do also work part-time. And I have just started feeling this tension of I want to work more and kind of need to work more, but with my son's schedule, it just doesn't always like work out. And so as he's gotten older, I haven't been able to like pull as many hours as I want to do. And I'm also very grateful that I'm starting to get into the spot on our team where I'm involved in a lot more things, and I really, really love the work that I get to do. So we decided that we are gonna have our son go to a Mother's Day Out program 4 days a week. It's only gonna be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'll be off with him on Fridays and through the weekend, and I just think it's gonna be super great. We also feel like it could help us like in the transition of having another baby and just allowing our son to be in another environment and being around other kids his age. Like the only time he's ever around other kids that are his age is when we go to church. I was honestly really scared about sending him to any kind of like a daycare or any program for the longest time, but I feel so much peace about it, and my husband and I feel good about it. So he is starting at the beginning of August, and kind of nervous for that transition. So if anybody has any tips for like helping your kid transition, I feel like this transition could be good, but obviously it's going to be different, that it's going to be several days a week. And with that said, we are also talking about me potentially going back to work full-time, and this could probably be like a whole video in itself, and there's just like so many different pieces of information and feelings and like all this kind of stuff that goes into this. But I think ultimately the thing that I've been struggling with is I love being at home with my son. Like I don't ever want it to sound like I don't like it or I'm ungrateful for it, because I know that there's so many women that just want the opportunity to even be home with their kids. But I've really been struggling, especially the last several months, of this just does not feel like it's it. And as I'm doing more work part-time and being more involved in the team there, I really feel called to move more into that. It's been something I've been praying about and talking to God about, and my husband and I both feel really good about the potential of me returning back to work full-time sometime at the beginning of next year, when our daughter is already about like 4 months old or so. If the opportunities are there and if the doors open up, I think that that is going to be the next step for our family. And so where my son's going now, just for his Mother's Day Out program, does have a full-time preschool as well. So he would be going there, our daughter would be going there. But really my biggest focus is just finishing out work for the rest of July and hopefully for the rest of August well, and then baby girl is due to arrive at the beginning of September or earlier. If this is something you're interested in hearing like more about, or if you are also like a stay-at-home mom and you feel called maybe to go to work again, would love to hear about that and chat and connect, because I know that it can feel like really hard, because I feel like so many people in today's society look down on working moms, especially moms that choose to work or feel called to work. And the last update that we got is baby girl should be here within the next like 7 to 9 weeks. So if she came at 9 weeks, that would put me already at 42 weeks. I'm definitely getting an induction if I hit far into 41 weeks pregnant. I'm hoping she comes naturally on her own. I'm super excited about it. I obviously have not done any nesting since we're still in our house. As soon as we move in with my parents, I'm gonna start nesting and getting everything ready and finishing buying whatever baby products we need, and then starting like, you know, all of the stuff that people say, like eating dates and drinking like the red raspberry leaf tea and doing stretches and curb walking, like all that stuff. We're gonna start everything as my OB approves me to do everything, and just really excited for her arrival. She's moving so much. I've already started having like some Braxton Hicks. I'm gonna bring up the swelling to my doctor at the appointment that I have coming up this week, because they always ask me about that. And this past week, like every time I take off my socks, like they look like they've been really tight on my feet. Maybe it's just the weight gain, maybe it's just some minor swelling that's like not a cause of concern, but I still feel like it's good to bring it up to my OB. We're just really excited for baby girl's arrival. I'm excited to see like how and when she ends up coming, because I had an induction with my son. I really don't want an induction this time, more so just I want to experience going into labor and just feeling like what that feels like without having to induce it. So we will see what ends up happening. Excited to announce her name. We've not announced her name online, so, or to any family and friends really. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to do that. I just wanna say I appreciate your support and engagement so much. I'm currently on a journey to YouTube monetization, and it's my goal to be able to provide income for my family from social media here on YouTube and TikTok. So make sure you check out my other platforms down below, and I will see you next time.